So, Adam, what episode number are we?
Let me go ahead and check my notes regarding that. Checks notes. Episode 179, he exclaims to the audience.
That's just weird. But anyway, so 179 you said?
Yes, 179.
Let me guess, you're going to bring on the 179 jokes.
What? There are none. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It's time for As the Buckle Turns, the #1 podcast from the ZOP Gaming channel on YouTube. I'm Adam.
I'm Tim, and I hate you.
I saw you reach down and start to grab a bite to eat, so I tried to stall it as best as I could, but I was not able to do it that long for you. Hopefully this stall works a whole lot better and you're able to actually swallow it down, maybe take a drink, hit the bathroom.
I did that on purpose, by the way.
I know you did.
I actually did that on purpose.
You always do it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing out there? Right away, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and join that notification squad. Just do it now, get it out of the way. Tim's going to remind you about it at the end of the show. Anyway, we've got a bunch of news to go over, don't we?
But we have to go over pay-per-view results.
Oh, yeah, we do. Wait, there was a pay-per-view?
Yeah, I know. Wait, you're saying there's a what? It's not just a pay-per-view. It was Backlash, the greatest show.
I mean, honestly, you don't put a tagline onto a match right away as the greatest wrestling match ever when the match hasn't even happened yet. So the audience can't say, yeah, it was an amazing match, because no matter what, it will never live up to the hype. It won't.
Well, the reason there's a reason. It's believed that the reason why they tagged it there was because there's belief that they wanted to manipulate the Google search. So if you type the greatest wrestling match, this will come up over any other company.
Okay, that's sneaky and underhanded, and honestly, I kind of like it.
Yeah. At the same time, it's also a rumor that the reason why they wanted to do it was to help to push Edge, because when he came back, the match at WrestleMania was just slaughtered on how boring and slow-paced it was.
It's an Orton match. That's the problem with it. It was clearly a very Orton-centric match, and it felt slow, and it was supposed to be methodical, but it never felt methodical. It just felt like two dudes going, what if we tried this? Oh, what if we try that?
So the idea was they tagged it this way to kind of help to make a better thing for Edge.
Okay.
So we'll get to there, but we did have we're gonna go right to our deciding question, because this was not a deciding question it counts. This counted actually regardless if we had a tie or not, which we did not. And by the way, Adam, and new predictions champion.
That's great. Yep.
I slaughtered you.
Okay.
Like you slaughtered me. Well, you actually slaughtered me at TakeOver.
See? There we go.
You just had a really good showing. I had a really good showing, but you did not have a good showing here.
No.
But anyway, the match was of who will win the Intercontinental Championship, AJ or Bryan. You picked Daniel Bryan. I picked AJ. I was right. You were wrong. So going into the pay-per-view, I had 1 point up on you.
Whatever.
So we'll start at the bottom and work our way up. So we had Apollo Crews and Andrade.
Yes.
That was on the pre-show, which all case in points were actually on the main show. Why are you doing this?
I'm too sweet and all over this, because I swear I chose Apollo on this one.
You did not.
No. I chose Andrade. I went against Apollo Crews because I remember that his push was over. And I was like, why would you keep the belt on somebody if their push is over? And they decided to keep the belt on somebody that the push was over on, which...
Well, there's actually interesting thing because Apollo did retain here. The potential heel turn for Apollo Crews has been rumored maybe starting to be taking effect because he cheated to win on Monday in his open challenge against Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah.
Shelton tried to cheat to win, so then Apollo rolled him up and held onto the ropes afterwards. So you could say because his opponent tried to cheat, he just reacted to it. So it was fair game.
Right,
but
totally.
A lot of people are saying this is going to be the turning point. This is going to start moving towards the heel turn where he'll join MVP in Bobby Lashley's stable.
Okay, that actually sounds pretty good. I like that idea.
Yeah, so do I. Because there's a lot with a certain decision that happened right before Backlash, which we'll talk about in a few minutes.
Okay.
This was actually in the pre-show. This was actually supposed to be in the main card, but then it suddenly became the pre-show after this decision. But I heard it was a decent matchup. We had Kevin Owens get involved, and it distracted Andrade, allowing Apollo Crews to retain. So interesting there. And then we had the opening matchup, which had Bayley, Sasha Banks defending the women's tag titles against Alexa Bliss in the Iconics. And we both got this one right. Bayley and Sasha retained.
Yes.
So everyone was predicting the same finish of the Iconics coming in, which I think still would have been hilarious if they did that.
It would have been great.
But yeah, it was too soon to take the belts off them, especially since they were scheduled to defend the titles against on NXT, and Vince McMahon not being happy with the ratings with NXT, so they're hoping to have more main roster talent down on there. So they weren't going to do that.
Okay.
And we already know they didn't drop the belts last night because they made a matchup for the Iconics for next week on Raw. So they weren't going to drop the belts again, and then not have that matchup.
Right.
So way to preempt who was going to win on NXT. You want people to tune in. Don't make a fucking matchup for the titles the next week.
Yes.
But I heard this was actually I actually was listening to the result on the live reactions to Wrestle Talk.
Okay.
For this, and they actually were saying for the most of the night this was their favorite matchup until the main event.
Okay.
Like it was a really good matchup for the women's, but also just an overall really good matchup. So that was good this year. Do you have the actual order of the?
Yeah. Next up
Who was the next matchup?
Was the Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus match.
Okay, so I'm in order. I'm in correct order. I think I'm gonna be in the correct order overall. Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus. You went with Jeff Hardy.
Look,
I went with Sheamus, and I was right.
We were going with that, that last run in the company. Usually, you get a damn good winning streak going through it. I mean, it was a nearly 17-minute match, so honestly. It looks... You know what? Let me just read. Jeff Hardy, Sheamus. It was just a beatdown. I'm sorry.
It was... Well, the whole thing was... I think Sheamus attacked ahead of time. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But... Like, I knew this was going to be a Sheamus win because he got urine thrown into his face by Jeff.
Yeah.
Which Fox cut out on the Pacific showing.
Really?
They did not like it. They thought that it violated their family and private practices, so they removed it from the West Coast airing.
Okay.
Which is funny.
All right, whatever. It's weird.
They clearly didn't realize who they were getting business with because that's the kind of stuff Vince McMahon likes.
Yes.
But so I knew that because they're obviously going to give Jeff the major win of the blow-off feud at Extreme Rules because it's Extreme Rules, and
Jeff Hardy has to do something extreme, bro.
Exactly.
Sorry. Sorry about
our
that voice.
next matchup was Asuka versus Nia Jax.
Yes.
And this we both got wrong because it was a double countout finish.
Yep.
Which was changed the day of the event.
Okay. All right.
Take a guess who changed it.
I'm willing to bet it was Vince McMahon.
Nope, it was Triple H.
Okay. Then that means that Triple H saw the, what was going in the winds and went, yeah, we're not putting the belt on Nia right now.
No.
But we need to keep Nia looking strong, so it's going to be a double count out.
No, it was Vince McMahon, and I don't know why. It was a stupid call.
Okay, so Vince just went for a swerve. Well, he was going for a drift. It was going to be a beautiful drift. The best drift ever around a wonderful corner. Instead, he kind of swerved through it. And it's just like, it's a jerky motion. You're like, I guess that's good enough, Vince. Thanks.
Yeah. They changed it, and they had the rematch on Raw where Asuka won with a roll-up after Jax went to shove the ref, and the ref was going to disqualify Nia, but then Nia got rolled up, so he counted, and they proclaimed it was a fast count, which WWE is looking into now. A storyline.
Okay. All right. Okay. Then it had better have been a fast count, because otherwise, if it's a straight count, it's going to be the lamest looking into anything. God, really? And the most powerful move in all of wrestling, the roll-up. Have you ever noticed that, no one can ever kick out of a roll-up?
I love the roll-up finish when you use it correctly, which WWE does not use.
No.
They use it all the time to save someone.
See, it should be used near the end of a long match. Both men are tired. Literally, you could just, if one leaned on the other too hard, they would fall down and get pinned. That's exactly what would happen. So that's the great time for the roll-up. Also, after Austin broke his neck, wonderful time for a roll-up. He could not do anything else.
See, the thing is, when you use it to save
roll-up. Really?
people from the loss in WWE, which do constantly tell us wins and losses don't matter, but they do. Why do you care about having them protect them then if wins and losses don't matter? Basically, they go to that instead of letting them take an actual loss, but letting the match get the person over. Something like AEW, New Japan do, Impact does, Ring of Honor does.
Tim?
Why are you raising your hand?
Tim, I have a question.
Sure. Hold on.
Yeah.
Adam?
Yes. Quick question, because this is now going to show the audience just how much I've been paying attention. Is the Big Show the GM of Raw right now?
No, he just comes in whenever they want to hopefully spike the ratings.
Well, because
that he
I'm reading that the Street Profits will be facing the Viking Raiders at the behest of Big Show, which all I can think of is any GM going, look, I want you to fight against this person. All right. And you're and now the Big Show's I have absolutely no authority, but you're going to fight this guy. And they're both
I know.
Well, you're the Big Show, so okay. I mean, what am I going to do? Argue with you? Just slap me in the chest. That hurts a lot. Ask Kofi Kingston. Anyway.
This was a stupid finish. Asuka needed a really solid win here, and they decided to go the cheap route. But
yeah, and then they cheapened it further with the possibility of a fast count.
I think they're just trying to prolong this feud to Extreme Rules, because they want to build Charlotte into Asuka's feud only for SummerSlam. Possibly, I don't know.
Oh,
But it's
so no,
unfinished.
for
They
me,
need
what you do there is you write a double story going on.
oh, I know.
And instead of a situation where Nia Jax beats Charlotte to go to Extreme Rules, instead of something like that, you go, how about, somebody suggests that Extreme Rules be a triple threat match, and Charlotte just refuses it, and then instead just goes, I'll fight anybody, whoever wins in that match, I'll fight them at SummerSlam. And that's
Actually, what it should be Charlotte's having to face off against Nia, with the winner going to SummerSlam.
yes,
But no, they'll put it the other way. Well, they'll have
yeah.
Charlotte being the one who gets to have they have the honor of facing her.
I already have a match at SummerSlam. I don't know who it's going to be, the champion or her challenger. It's like, what, you're putting the champion below you. That's the WWE way.
See, there's a difference of actually having the character act like they're above the champion, and they're not
Right.
overall, versus the challenger is actually over the champion, which WWE does.
Yeah. Like,
Degrading
it's
their own championship.
I'm going to be honest.
But-
It's happened with it happens with Charlotte. It's happened with John Cena, and it's not necessarily John Cena's fault.
Well, not all the times. There
No.
have been a few times you can argue that it was his fault.
Right, but like, sometimes it was just like, oh, like, I understand the times that it's not really his fault. Those are the times where it's like, no, at that point he was John Cena. Like,
Yeah.
it would be like putting The Rock into a championship match. He's over that champion already because he's The Rock.
Well, yeah.
But Hogan, it felt like that was how it was with Hogan for pretty much his entire run. Like, no matter where he went, it was always like, you the champion? Well, I'm going to grant you with my ability in the ring. Let's have a match together. It's like, what? No.
No, even the best showing of that is when at WrestleMania 7, when him and Sid Vicious closed out WrestleMania, and he wasn't the champion.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this was a big mistake. Okay, let's move on to, this was Braun Strowman versus Miz and Morrison, right?
Yep, we called this one.
Yep. Because apparently there was a confusion on if the Miz and Morrison won, it would be a co-champion.
Or if
Because
one of them
apparently
would
they were-
win the championship.
Yeah, if one of them pinned, they'd both be champion. Because apparently teased that, but then they said it never was. It was just a confusion on the commentary. I don't know what it was. But we knew this was going to happen. We'll probably see The Fiend return on SmackDown tomorrow and start building towards that. Honestly, I would rather save the Braun Strowman and The Fiend for SummerSlam.
Yes. What I would do instead is, I would love, like, this should be for a little while, for up to Extreme Rules. The Fiend / Bray Wyatt are cutting promos. This about Braun, this about Braun. There's anytime it's Bray, cutting a promo, he's always talking about how great, he loves Braun. It's wonderful to see him at this top level finally. It's great. He's cheering him on. Remember when we did, just going through family history, and then during the promos, he'll be like, "Hey, do you remember when we?" And it switches to the Fiend, "When I took you down, like when I just destroyed you in the ring." And it switches back, and he's like, "Wasn't that wonderful and fun?" Stuff like that all the way through. "Do you remember when you used to follow me?" and you'll follow me to a grave this time. Like, keep switching back and forth like that. That would be some great promos.
Yes.
And also, you could still off to the side build up Strowman's opponent at Extreme Rules. And then at SummerSlam, it's The Fiend that he faces and drops the belt to.
Yeah. Hey, Adam, are you feeling all right? Because you're being quite talkative.
Sorry.
Today.
I'm it's a good night. I've got my monster, Unleash the Beast.
You said that wrong. Now say it.
Unleash the Beast.
There you go.
Oh, that was...
Wait, my bad. Did
No,
you say
shut
monster?
up. Shut up. No, so
Anyway,
I...
we predicted this one.
Yeah.
This was easy.
All right, next up, we've got Bobby Lashley with MVP taking on Drew McIntyre. Scotsman.
According to the Wrestle Talks live reaction, this became their next favorite matchup when it happened. Like, you had Bobby come out, attack Drew, put him in the mask rock immediately in his jacket. Like, the match hadn't even started.
Ooh.
And it just back and forth. It was a really great matchup. And then you had Lana come out to distract Bobby, who cost him the pin.
What the hell? Why is this still a
Vince
thing?
Booking. I know. Typical Vince booking.
Like, didn't they break up like a couple months ago?
No, that was Rusev and Lana who broke up. Bobby and Lana have been married. They haven't broken up yet. But this past Monday, Bobby let her know he wanted a divorce.
Sorry.
Because they have to pay that angle off. You know, it's WWE. They have to have that pay off to protect Bobby when it only make him look like an idiot.
Yes, I know. I married you to get you away from your husband. Now I don't want to be with you anymore. Get away from me, woman. Me and MVP are gonna hang out. That actually now it's really It's a very progressive storyline because it's gonna come out that MVP and Bobby Lashley are together.
No, it's not.
Okay, no.
But I think in Lana's promo or somewhere along the line, she said she should have slept with Drew, so she could have been with a WWE champion. And Drew responded on Twitter. It's like, A, I'm married, and B, go away. Like, basically said, go away to some whatever, like dissing her. I was like, that's hilarious.
I would love for him to have, like, when she came out and tried to distract, if she said anything there, if Drew had just been like, oh, no, leave, woman, do not, no.
Okay, so side note here, I saw 2 chiropractic appointments, one with Rusev and one with Lana, on, like, one of the big, like, chiropractic channels and everything.
Yep.
And it's kind of funny to see, like, I'm pretty sure Lana wears a wig.
Really?
Tapings, because she was not blonde in that taping in the video. It's a newer, like a new thing. So I'm pretty sure she's wearing a blonde wig. And second of all, like, they were just talking about how, like, I didn't realize she is from Russia.
Oh.
And she speaks fluent, not Russian, but one of the languages as well. And like, it's just like.
But, like, she doesn't have one of those native Russian accents when speaking English. She has a... Okay, thank you. Because every time that she's come out and had that terrible Russian English, accent, it is horrible. It is so forced.
But yeah, it was funny because she was talking about, like, going over her injuries and, like, certain things that she hasn't been able to do since she started wrestling, and then just by the chiropractic, like, she's like, wow, that feels a lot better. And of course, after Rusev's appointment, he put the guy in an accolade. And then Lana's like, yeah, I'm feeling really flexible. I can really move. And then she kicks him in the side of the head and drops him.
Oh, wow.
So it was just kind of funny. He's letting them, he's being a mark for them. It was actually a really interesting thing. Chiropractic videos, when you get some of these big stars on them, it's actually pretty interesting when you see, like, what they do. And see, how much of a wuss they are when like they get like they work out a knot or something in like the lat.
Okay.
And he's just pushing on it, and they're just like, ah, ah, ah.
So
It's like,
there's a reason for that. You know that knots also, as they're being undone, so some people say that knots are literally stress balls.
yes.
And as they get worked out, you are literally releasing and reliving the stress that caused it.
Well, the stuff that he's releasing isn't necessarily for stress. It's actually like muscles have been contracted or tight and like locked up, and he's pushing the pressure on it because of how you're holding yourself.
I know. I'm twitching over here just thinking about it. Like, that's how many knots I have in my back. Like, if somebody sat down...
It's always in the lat, like the lat, and then like the shoulders, like or the back of the
They're
neck. Like,
pain.
You just see them go like he can find it so easily, and he like they start like. I watched Bobby Lashley see him do it. Rusev did it. Like big, like Ryback did the same thing. This guy, like. You just see these big ass men, and he just starts poking, and it's just like it's so tender, and he has you move your arm or something because it helps work it out, and it slowly goes away, and then they're surprised, they're like, wow, this is so much more loose.
I need to get that done.
It's just funny.
Anyway,
but, overall, this was like apparently a really good matchup, but the finish sucked.
Yeah.
And then we have the match we did not predict because we didn't know it was going to be, but it wasn't a match. It was a cinematic dream of ninjas versus the Viking Raiders and the Street Profits that ended with the Southpaw Regional Wrestling's Tentacle Monster making his main roster debut, according to Rusev. And that just ended, and because of what happened, they couldn't have the tag team title matchup that we didn't know was scheduled to happen.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm reading the write-up for this on Wikipedia.
Hey, the guys at Wrestle Talk thought it was hilarious. They did bring out how the lead ninja was
Akira Tozawa.
Ozawa. And how, that's not racist. But other than that, like they said, like he can get any gimmick you give him over, and it was hilarious. But yeah, it was apparently a little buffer zone, and
they were spooked by a tentacle monster to end the match.
No match.
The segment.
It was segment, and because of that. But according to Rusev, that is the octopus monster from Southpaw Regional Wrestling making his main roster debut.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like weird. They said it was hilarious overall, just because it's like, what the fuck? There's ninjas now?
Ninja bikers. And then they became the Viking Prophets and proceeded to fight off the ninjas. Seriously? WTF?
I kind of want to go and watch this segment just to see what the fuck is, because it's that crazy.
Did Matt Hardy write this for them?
I know.
It's the last thing he did before he left.
This was a buffer zone between the WWE Championship matchup and the greatest wrestling match of all time,
ever,
Edge versus Randy Orton, which they acknowledged they were piping in audio to the matchup.
Oh yeah.
They had Howard Finkel announce it from beyond the grave. They literally had apparently the song The Greatest Showman play right before that.
Okay.
And this match went up like 45 minutes.
Yes.
And according to the reaction I was listening to on Wrestle Talk, they loved it. They loved this matchup.
Okay.
So there are people who said they were bored by it, but they said it's Orton's greatest matchup he's had in a very long time.
Oh no. Oh god.
And so one thing I will say this, I thought Luke had an awesome response because he said they're going to use a punt kick to finish the matchup, and that's how they ended the match. And he's like, he said that he called that, and someone pointed out saying, no, he won't be used to punt kick is banned, and he's just like, well, I called that one, and he flicks off the camera to the guy. I was like, yeah, there you go, Luke. Yeah, you tell him. Sad news is that Edge was injured in this matchup.
Yes. Yes, he was.
He tore his tricep.
Just ow.
And but
Yeah.
here's the thing, he tore it in reshoots for the matchup, not the original take.
Okay.
So if they didn't do retakes, he wouldn't have been injured. Which because they had this tagline, they had to make it as good as they possibly could.
Right.
But he's gonna be out. By the way, gotta give props to Orton because he baited Ali Davis into believing him. When on Raw, when he came out and he talked about how Edge won't be back until July, and he's like, "Oh wow, okay, it wasn't as serious as I thought it was." And then he added the caveat, 2029. And Ali
Okay,
was like,
all right.
"Oh my god, I can't believe I fell for that." So, but yeah, Edge will probably be out, won't be back until Royal Rumble. Assuming, I mean, again, it depends on how long it takes to rehab.
Yeah.
If all he does is rehab, maybe we'll get a John Cena moment from Edge here.
SummerSlam. He shows up.
3 months. This is usually the time frame they say, 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
So if he came back in 3 months, that'd be like okay, July, August, September. So you could do it. You could set it up for November.
Yeah.
If he came back quick enough. I would just say Edge, take your time, don't rush it. But like, I mean, he is still accepting bookings
Well, I mean,
for like acting jobs.
the match was
but
done
with Hollywood
on June.
only just coming back.
I mean, the match
But-
was done on June 7th. It's the first week of June. So
Yes, so it's been a
is SummerSlam late in August this year?
I don't think it is. I think it's like the second week.
Oh,
It
okay,
was
never
last
mind.
year.
If it was late in August, that could be your, Randy Orton is like, what's going on? And Orton is on the ramp because technically
So-
he won't be able to do anything until next week. But
So, Adam, here's a suggestion. Why don't you click on Wikipedia's the next pay-per-view, Extreme Rules, and then the next pay-per-view, SummerSlam, and we'll find out the date.
I don't know why you got to do this to me, man.
You mean what? You mean logic?
SummerSlam is August 23rd.
Okay,
So
it
it's
is a little
late
bit
in the
later
month. Okay.
Okay.
In Boston. Hopefully.
Nope, it's not. It's not because they Boston, Massachusetts won't allow any live showing with fans until after Labor Day. They are looking to possibly find a new location because they will allow them to have fans there. That's
Okay.
what they want, or they might hold off SummerSlam until after Labor Day so they can have fans there.
Which will be
It all
the
depends on
after SummerSlam.
the greatest party of the fall, SummerSlam.
Yeah. It'll be like September 23rd. It's a full month later. It's like just after fall starts. And they're like, crap.
It will be interesting to see what happens because with the COVID-19 spikes that are happening.
Yep.
I actually just read an article here in Florida starting Saturday in Orange County. You are required to have a mask on if you go out
Good.
because they don't want to have to shut back down. Which I had to sit down and think, where's that cloth I've been using? Oh, so I think it's in my car again. Okay, good. So I had to wash it, and I was like, I think I put it back in my car. Good. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But anyway, I heard good things. They were saying good things. A lot of people were giving it a good matchup for it. It was a great way to finish this feud, like end this feud for now, with Orton on top. And then to have the Christian angle on Raw, where he baits Christian into a non-sanctioned matchup, only to have Ric Flair low blow him, and then hit him with a punk kick and pin him. Okay, I will have to say this before we finish up with the Backlash. Wrestle Talk called out WWE for 90s type mind frame.
Yes.
Because they said the way they booked this show with around Christian is he's going to accept the angle, the challenge and everything, was WWE and Kevin Dunn hoping that fans would call their friends or text their friends saying, "Hey, Christian's going to have a match. You should check this out," to get the ratings to come up. Where it's like, "Oh, great, I'll watch it tomorrow." That's what's going to happen.
Yep.
I'll watch it tomorrow. I'll watch it when I have some free time.
Well,
They're not going to tune in right then.
So one of the funniest things is, if you've got Hulu, you can watch Monday Night Raw on Tuesday, whenever you want to. Mm-hmm. So, but it is edited. It is cut down,
which is a good thing for Raw.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll see like entire segments disappear, depending on how they worked out. Or suddenly you don't hear the boos when Roman Reigns comes out every week.
Yep.
You hear a lot more cheers. Yeah, they used to do that. But yeah, people will go, "Oh, okay, I'll watch tomorrow," or "I'll catch the highlights tonight when I get home."
Yeah. It's one of those things where like they're still thinking this idea that people are going to call up their friends or text their friends. And hardcore diehard fans who may not have been who are slowly fading may decide to tune in if they can have access to it.
But okay, no offense to Christian, no offense. I mean, he's Captain Charisma. I love the dude. It's 2020. He hasn't done anything for years, and who's gonna be calling up the friends and going like, dude, Christian is in the main event tonight. Your friend on the other line is going, wait, who? How do you have this number still? We haven't talked in years, man. Like 2007.
No, it's like I didn't realize my landline was still working.
Exactly. He's like, I didn't realize mine was either, but Christian's in the main event. Who's he facing off against, bro? Randy Orton. You're like, all right, everything from 2009. It's a decade late, Vince.
I know. I will say they did play a good use of Orton and using Christian's last tagline. Like, I get Christian, you really want is one more match. Because that was his tagline when he got a concussion and he eventually just retired. Never came back from it.
Right.
So it was a nice little there. The story elements of Randy Orton like being convoluted, like tortured over what he did, and then having to blame it on Christian. There was a subtle spot where Christian's legs are crossed over, and the refs are checking on him, and he goes and he takes them and he just separates them, and the refs back off like, "Oh, are we gonna have a problem?" He's like, no, I'm just trying to help. Like, it's like Randy Orton, when he gets something that he can really sink his teeth into, he will sink his teeth into it and he'll come out on fire. Which we saw with the whole when he attacked Edge and that storyline going into WrestleMania. Just the match didn't pay out the way it should have. Now we're getting a little bit more of that. It's really cool. But he's got to stop being so slow in the ring.
Yes.
I'm okay with it certain times in his matches. He slows it down to that methodical element for a portion of the match, just not the whole goddamn fucking match.
No. The match should have some speed to it. There should be some back and forth. And then
Yeah.
as the match progresses, suddenly Randy hits something big and he just stops. He doesn't pick them up. He doesn't do anything and he waits. Then he starts stomping on their hands and their feet. Then he just starts working them over because he's like, no, you're not getting back up. You didn't get back up fast enough. I'm going to wait for... Now you've pissed me off. Get the... kind of like a... you've pissed me off because you're not responding. We were going back and forth. What happened?
Yeah. So it's it'll be interesting to see what they do with this. I personally, after how he came off and how most people are taking this matchup and how he's coming off, he would be a really good contender for Drew at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Because that'd be a great way you could put him against Drew. Drew is being so carefully booked. He's towing that line. And before we move on to the news and ratings for Wednesday night, there was a matchup between Bobby Lashley, MVP, with Drew and Truth, with both titles on the line because they baited Drew into it, and then Truth didn't want to risk it because Drew was kind of nervous if Truth got pinned. So Truth's like, "Don't worry, I took care of it. Only your title's on the line." So they had the matchup. Truth got the pin on MVP after they were working Truth over. Drew gets a hot tag, hits the Claymore, tags in Truth. Truth pins him, and it was a great little segment. Ollie Davis is making a prediction, or maybe it was Luke is making a prediction. They believe that on Monday, Truth is going to think he's WWE champion because the title's on the line. He got the pinfall, so therefore he's champion. He's like, oh my god, they're probably going to go that direction, aren't they now?
Yeah.
I was like, as soon as he said, I'm like, yep, they're going there. Like, as soon as he said, I'm like, if they do not go there, that will be because Vince didn't actually think of it. And I'll be surprised Vince didn't think of it. But anyway, let's move on.
Okay.
There, ladies and gentlemen, let us know down what you thought of Backlash. What was the match of the night? Everyone I've heard of so far is saying that the greatest wrestling match of all time, while it was not the greatest wrestling match of all time, was still an excellent matchup and was the match of the night.
Good.
So, but let us know down in the comment section. So, Adam, we gotta move on to ratings. And
yes.
We got some great news for the ratings. Ratings are up this week.
Yeah. I liked seeing these numbers
good.
again.
We have Dynamite at 772,000 viewership.
Yes.
14% increase from last week.
Good.
They did beat NXT, but NXT was up a little bit more. Not by much, but they were up to 746, which is great. That was a 3.5 increase. So it's great to see all these going up. And next week we have that huge triple threat matchup of Johnny Gargano, Finn Balor, and Keith Lee for the North American Championship. That could possibly
that's a pretty awesome
draw
match.
in some big numbers. But they have some big matches up. I think they have some stuff scheduled for Dynamite next week too already, which is pretty big. Only time will tell. But it's good to see these numbers going up a little bit more. It will be interesting to see the breakdown. It doesn't really say here. Well, I think we'll probably in the next few days we'll get the full breakdown. How well the Sasha Banks tag match and Bayley tag match did in the ratings, because that will help to see how big bringing main roster talent to NXT is going to do. We saw it fail with with Charlotte. I would find it hilarious if that was like one of the highest segments for NXT.
What?
Bigger than anything Charlotte did.
What?
Like,
if
there
Bayley.
You go. That's the reason why
Bayley and Sasha's match. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it'd be hilarious.
I mean, at the same
they
time,
do better numbers than Charlotte.
I want to see. I want to see the numbers that this week can do. I've been saying this all along, and you've said it too. We kind of want to see both companies get to a point where there really is somebody could win. The tides could change tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Instead,
and that's what it looks like they're...
We've seen kind of a very constant, all right, AEW is going to put up a very solid show. NXT is going to try hard, and it's going to be an obvious try hard, and no one's going to get the payoff. Okay. Yeah. AEW wins. Now,
and they kind of, when NXT does that, they keep the status quo always. Though,
right.
When they put these... Or this one, what they're doing next week is the winner of this matchup, of the North American title, will go on to face Cole in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
This happens to be one of the nights of Fyter Fest, by the way, for AEW.
Oh my God.
And champion versus champion with both belts on the line to crown a double champion.
Damn.
I don't think we're gonna get Gangaro Cole again. He doesn't need all the belts. He's still new to being a heel. You gotta build up to him winning the AEW championship. I honestly think Keith Lee would be a great person to do double champion.
Okay.
But I kind of want Finn Balor a little bit more. But
I would like to see Finn Balor, a Finn Balor and Adam Cole match. I want to see that.
Well, they already had a match on NXT last fall.
Yeah, but
it was interrupted by Johnny Gangaro returning and distracting Balor. And
yeah, no. This I want this. This is a champion versus champion. Everything on the line. Bullet Club versus Bullet Club. I want that to be recognized at the very beginning of the, much like Finn and AJ did, where they stop, they look at each other, the too sweet goes up, and then they back up.
They didn't too sweet in the beginning of the matchup. They too sweeted at the end of the match.
Okay, then at the end of the match, they too sweet.
Yeah. It will be interesting to see because, well, I don't think they want to. I think they want to put the belt on Finn again at some point, but they clearly want to build towards Finn versus Walter.
Yes. Oh my God, wow, that's kind of a Rey Mysterio versus Big Show.
Yeah, but that was the original plan for Dublin, was Finn Balor versus Walter.
Yep.
And that's not scheduled till the fall now, and who knows if that will happen if they can't get over there. So it will be interesting to see, but if we get that matchup eventually, if it's not going to happen anytime soon, then yeah, put the belt on Finn. Let him have it do this. But only time will tell. But it will be interesting to see. But the ratings are good, which is always good to see. Adam, you had something about New Japan you wanted to talk about.
New Japan Pro Wrestling is back, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Yes!
Where did it go? It went somewhere?
It went into lockdown, the same as like everybody else around the world.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing going on globally at all. At least that's what I'm being told by WWE.
And yeah. Anyway, God. Anyway, the New Japan Cup. It started on the 16th of. I mean, we're recording on the 18th. It's Thursday. So it was just 2 days ago that it started up, and now normally this is the tournament that happens every March, and honestly we have forgotten about it year after year since we started covering New Japan stuff. But I'm looking this over. It looks pretty good this year. I like this lineup. I did have to, because I haven't looked at anything New Japan in a couple of months. So I haven't really, I had to refamiliarize myself with certain people. Like this, hold on. Hopefully I don't ruin his name here. Kazuchika Okada. I hope I didn't ruin his name there. I mean, I don't remember who this guy is.
No, neither do I.
Oh,
He's like
scrolled
a
over
jobber.
him. I see the picture. Oh yeah, he's that tall blonde boy. He's a great wrestler. Great wrestler. Anyway, I'm just messing with you. I gotta say, out of the matches that have happened, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 matches have happened so far. I don't know the results from the 17th yet.
Okay.
Now
is this a traditional tournament?
Yep,
Or is
single
it
single elimination.
Okay.
So it's not like the G1 where it's a
No, I didn't
round
think so.
robin.
I thought this was like, because I remember they have like two. I usually think the J Cup, and then Super Juniors.
Yep, the Super Juniors. Yeah, and then the G1 is this weird round robin, then a single elimination after points have been determined.
No, after G1 is you have the two block winners face off in the finals.
Oh yeah, that's it. Totally forgot about that. Yeah.
Most of the tournaments in New Japan have that set up, but they have like 2, maybe 3 tournaments that will have one for like the heavyweights and one for the junior heavyweights. That is a traditional single elimination tournament. So, but yeah, that's good to hear that they're back though, because
I gotta say, one surprise win for me, and it's just because I've always looked at this guy as kind of a comedic act, is Toru Yano. That dude, the fact that he got a win, congratulations to him.
Well, we're also gotta remember though, comedy wrestling outside of WWE works.
I know. It's one of those that, like, I heard a story about him, and that was somebody had come backstage and they were like, I lost to Toru Yano, and they were like, oh, you lost to Toru Yano. I mean, at the same time, dude, you lost to Toru Yano. It's just like, you're both like, because Yano, because he's a comedic actor, you're like, oh, I lost to him. At the same time, because you're one of the select few that get to lose to him every once in a while, you're like, dude, I get to say that he beat me. No matter what, he gets to say he beat me. But yes, go on.
The thing is, the thing with comedy wrestling, like, it works outside of WWE because it's still portrayed as, yes, I'm a comedy act. I can still go in the ring, but I'm a comedy act. Whereas in WWE, recently they've been, in the last few years, decade or so, honestly, they've portrayed comedy wrestling. If you're a comedy act, you don't go anywhere because it's low end. And a lot of people always point that out, like comedy wrestling doesn't sell money. Like Jim, what's his name? He used to carry a tennis racket around.
Cornette.
He's loud and obnoxious.
Corny.
Everyone hates him. Oh yeah, that douchebag.
Jimmy C.
Yeah, Jim Cornette said comedy wrestling doesn't sell tickets. Attitude Era, the DX, who were Hall of Famers, super comedics.
Yeah.
In that time, it was comedy wrestling at what you can do with comedic wrestling and talents.
I mean, honestly, you look at the way that Shawn wrestles. Overall, Shawn is a clown in the ring.
Yes.
I mean, he can go.
You only realize it. You only realize that it's how big of a clown he is when he absolutely turns it all the way up to $1 billion against Hogan.
Yeah.
Realize, oh, he's not changing anything. He's just boosted it up even more, and you realize, oh yeah, this is what he's like in the ring. A lot of the time, but he's good at making it look very real. At the same time, he's being comedic.
A great example of his comedic wrestling was it's a very early match between DX and Legion of Doom. Like, Triple H is still the blue blood Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
He's phasing out of it.
Yeah, it's about the time that he's phasing out with it because Chyna's with them as well.
Yeah.
And Shawn, like, the very beginning of the match, you know, Shawn gets in the ring and he's doing his thing and pulls his jacket off. Now Hunter's waiting on the outside because obviously Hunter is the subordinate here. Gives him the jacket, turns around, looks right at, I believe it's Animal, and stops. Leans back, taps Hunter on the shoulder, and slides out of the ring. I'm like, that is comedy. That is comedy gold right there. And every time during that match that Hunter got Sean back in the ring with a fast tag, Sean would try to just dodge everything and get back to Hunter to tag him right back into the match. Because he's like, I'm tiny. What do you want me to do against these guys? I'm not going to do anything against them.
So yeah, it's definitely one of those things you can do, but it is what it is. All right, so let's move on to the announcement of Paul Heyman fired by WWE as Raw Executive Director.
Yeah.
And everything being returned to one creative blob mass under Bruce Pritchard. And yeah, so... Oh, hey Adam, did I mention there's an earnings call next month?
Oh, okay. All right.
So, because Paul Heyman ratings have been down. Oh, look, we have to have an excuse for this. Oh, we've already taken care of it. We fired the guy. Just like they fired Bischoff because SmackDown ratings were down. And what are they going to do in the fall when the ratings are still down? They're going to fire Pritchard to protect Vince?
No, they'll actually just transfer him to a different department and put somebody else in instead.
Yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous, and it's just one of those things when where was I gonna go with this? I completely lost my mind. I mean, the idea was Pritchard is like he's well known for knowing how to pitch things to Vince. Like, he knows what Vince is like, so if you come with him with ideas, he'll be like, we'll only pitch these three ideas because I know Vince will like them. Is helpful, but ultimately all you're doing is, because everyone knows he's a yes man of Vince, is you're putting ideas out there to please the audience of one,
right?
Vince McMahon. And the ratings are going to be worse. They're not going to improve because when when Vince gets what he wants, fans tune out.
Yep.
And also there's been rumors that Vince, just after the XFL thing fell through, he started getting more hands-on with Raw, and he realized how much he did not like working with Paul Heyman. They disagreed on a lot of stuff all the time, which is why we kept seeing pushes that Paul wanted to do stop. So, and now we're seeing people are worried about Drew's push because he was a Paul Heyman guy, but apparently he's safe. People are worried about Asuka's push. Apparently she's safe.
Okay.
But it's just one of those things which is like, oh my god. Vince says he wants to change. He's open to change, but he's not. He's like, I'm gonna get whatever the fuck I want, and when the ratings don't go up, and he's like, what's going on? Why don't these people like this? This is good shit. It's not good shit, Vince.
Yeah.
You don't know what the fans want. You just care what you want. And your rating's going to go down, and you're going to tank your own company.
Yeah, it's going to be like the early 90s again.
Not just the early 90s. We're going to get to, I think, WCW level at some point. But, yeah, it's just... there's even rumors going around that when Pritchard was brought back in February of last year, the whole goal was to eventually to put him to become a very powerful player in the company, and that it was always the point of eventually they brought on Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman to be scapegoats overall. So
yeah.
And what did we see on Raw this past week? We saw older talent get pushed over younger talent.
Of course.
And Yeah, it's dumb. But have anything else to say on this, Adam?
No, not really.
Okay, we gotta talk about a different Adam.
Oh, another Adam? Okay.
Yeah, I thought that would pique your interest.
I mean, I like Adams.
Uh,
We're cool. We cool people,
Uh,
yo.
AEW Tag Team Champion Hangman Adam Page is not happy about a match next week on Dynamite. He calls out AEW for having to defend the tag titles against the Nightmare family because he thought the Best Friends were the number one contenders. Let me read his tweet.
Yeah.
Wait, what? I thought Best Friends were the next contenders. What the hell is even going on around here? Man, I tried to cut my head off with a hacksaw last week. Tony Khan responds, "You're defending versus the number 2 contenders, the undefeated, the Natural Nightmares. My bad, not the Nightmare family. The Natural Nightmares
Yep.
on Wednesday. And then the winners, the champs, will defend at Firefest against the number 1 contenders, the winners of Best Friends and Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara, the Les Sex Gods. Lots of great tag teams. Good luck." And he replies, "Turn off replies." But it's a contradiction. Yeah, I mean, Tony kind of tries to fix it. Like, you're defending against the number 2 tag team. But you specifically made it at Double or Nothing. The number 1 contenders were Best Friends. So they're putting their number 1 contendership up against Sammy and Jericho? Why would you, like, I think they just kind of, they realized they wanted to do this at Fyter Fest, and they, like, we should have them defend against someone else in the meantime to get one more defense, because I think they're going to drop the belts at Fyter Fest. Because I think the Best Friends are the best people to drop the belts to right now.
Exactly.
So it'll be interesting to see, but it was a little confusing. I think it was hilarious that Paige called them out on this because they made this matchup, and I think Tony's like, "Oh crap, we did make this. Say that. Here, let me try to fix this."
It's like, yeah, at Double or Nothing, there you had a number 1 contender match.
Yeah, you had a number 1 contenders match. It means they get the next title shot, not someone else, even if they're undefeated, which is nice. But at the same time, you could have, I think it would have been easier if you had a segment or even some tweets going on between the National Nightmares, Dustin and QT Marshall, and Paige and Hangman Kenny.
I got it.
I
got it.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
Let me say this. Because saying like, "Hey, well, you guys are defending against the number 1 contenders, but we're undefeated. We would like a shot." And you could say, "Well, you are undefeated, so maybe how about we do it this Wednesday?" You could do that over Twitter. That way it makes a little bit more sense that the champions are willing to give them that shot versus just announcing the matchup. What were you going to say, Adam?
Okay. The way I would have done it instead, and it's a very simple fix. The match that was at Double or Nothing, that was for a match at All Out. That's all you had to do. Be like, no, the winner here gets a tag team championship match at All Out.
Or at Fyter Fest.
Or at Fyter Fest. That way, then you can go, hey, these guys that are, undefeated, they're the number 1 contenders right now. Those other guys aren't actually the number 1 contenders. They just have a guaranteed match. They don't know who their opponent's actually going to be. You guys got to defend the belts this week.
Yes, that would help as well. That way, either way would work overall. I will say this. I want to say thank you, Jericho, for botching the finish to this tag team matchup, because I believe his podcast last week, he mentioned how, I think we're building, they announced it for facing Orange Cassidy at Fyter Fest. Oh, or wait, was it? Maybe or it's the tag titles if we beat the Best Friends this Wednesday. And he kind of, I bet halfway through it, he realized he spoiled it, and he's just like, "Oh shit, I gotta
reel it back,
reel
it back. Oh god, I gotta save it."
By the way, Orange Cassidy has a better Superman punch than Roman fucking Reigns.
That, sir, is a hot take, and I agree with you.
It is a beautiful Superman punch.
It's
I hope
quick,
he incorporates
too.
that. Yeah. I hope he incorporates it more into his offense because, dude, when he hit that, I'm like, oh. But it'll be interesting. I'm definitely happy to see Orange Cassidy versus Chris Jericho because that is will be a hilarious matchup. Because we all know, another great, going back to the comedy thing, Chris Jericho.
Yes.
Come on. So that'll be a great little feud matchup going into Fyter Fest. The first night of Fyter Fest is actually looking to be pretty good. But yeah, that was a nice little call out there. All right, Adam, we gotta talk about Charlotte Flair being entitled.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, definitely. Sorry, I am looking at a trailer for an upcoming Star Wars video game.
Oh, is that the pod? Like, is it a racing game?
No. Star Wars Squadrons. It is straight up you are flying.
Oh, that's what I was thinking
You're
about.
in
That's what I was thinking
all of the battles. You're constant. Oh.
Should I step out of the room to give you some privacy?
No,
for a few minutes?
I'm good. You know what? I'm good.
I better not see any little movement of your shoulder and your arm moving.
Yeah, show me that footage. Yeah. Sorry. What?
It's like,
Wait. What?
If your arm moves that much when you're jacking off, there's something wrong with you, or you're just.
I'm bad.
You're huge. No.
Holy sweet Jesus! But I don't come up high enough to my so the camera can see it all.
Yeah. So Charlotte Flair has said that she is not entitled. There are other stars in WWE who are entitled. And she goes off saying she is let me read the top part.
All I can picture right now is the response to all of this is that Willy Wonka meme where he's like, "Oh, you're not entitled? Do continue talking, please. Thank you.
Okay,
Tell
so
me
here's
how
what she said.
unentitled you are, Charlotte
This is
Flair."
what she said. It is not about who gets under my skin. It's about why they get under my skin. She explains. I see, I hear, I read what people will say about me, that I'm entitled, that I'm always in the title picture. Here's the thing. I'm the only person that shows up to work 365 days a year. I'm never sick. I'm never hurt. I'm the hardest working person in this company. I'm on Raw. I'm on SmackDown. Hell, I do media for Fox. And I'm not even on Fox. And then they sent me to NXT. I do a thing and everything they ask because I love this business and I strive to be great for it. Which is understandable, that last part. I
Totally
agree
understandable.
She has that flair for it. I think she's overlooking a lot of things on that.
Yes.
But then she goes on to say, so it's the entitled people that get under my skin. These people that sit at home for a year, then come back and are in the title picture. And you call me entitled because I'm busting my ass 365 days a year and a year to be the best. No, it's people like Nia Jax that come back and are in the title picture. I've been Asuka twice now and I haven't had my picture. So what is it? I've had the Raw Championship how many times? I think 5. But that means I can't have a 6th? That I'm not owed it? I'm not owed that title? No. It's people like Sasha Banks who take time off, come back in the title picture, but I'm entitled? No. It's the entitled people who get under my skin. I'm sorry. I had to get that off my chest. Now, I will give her that statement that people who do sit at home, Sasha taking time off, Nia coming back from an injury and going right into the title picture, I will give her that.
Yes.
She has a case there because that happens awful lot in WWE.
Right.
And I can also understand her mind frame because she is right. She doesn't take time off for the most part. She's always there, and she's right about that.
Yes.
But here's the thing. She's overlooking that we're not blaming her necessarily for being entitled.
No.
when I say she's overexposed, she is always in the title picture. It's because WWE has this mind frame that she has to be in that thing. Because yes, she may be a reliant worker, but if you don't take breaks, it's not good for you. But also, fans get sick of you when you're constantly at that level.
Exactly.
It happened to The Rock. It happens to Roman Reigns. The only person who didn't really happen to was Austin, because around the time it would have happened to Austin, I think, it would have been when he walked away.
Yeah, the overexposure would have been around then, which is weird because that was like 3 years into he was there every single week. But they also weren't necessarily putting him on SmackDown every week. He wasn't showing up on both shows.
No, he was showing up on both shows, but he wasn't always wrestling or anything.
Oh, no, it would be like a quick segment or Austin's here, and you see him walk into the back and sit in front of a TV, and he's like, no, that's really all I'm here for, guys. That's it.
Yeah.
I heard that, catering had some barbecue today.
Yeah, it all depended on what the storyline was going on.
Yeah.
It was also when you'd have to tune into SmackDown to catch up on storylines, because what happened on Raw would pay off on SmackDown, and vice versa.
Yes.
Which was something when they constantly get rid of the brand split, they don't do. So why would we pay attention? Want to go and watch SmackDown when you're not going to really pay off anything? You're just going to do a different show, different storylines. Almost like the brand split still exists, but it's not.
Right.
Anyway, but that's the thing. I mean, I can understand this from Charlotte, but at the same time, she doesn't get that when you are around 365 days a year, and the company says we're going to use you on all 3 brands, because either they think that's a good thing because you're reliable. Great, that's great, you're reliable. But it's overexposure. The fans are already sick and tired of you, and the fact that you're okay with them putting you on all 3 brands. Either you're not comfortable saying no, or you think you're owed that, or you're just because you're a company, or there's something else. But you're overexposed because you never miss. Take time off, recover, let your body rest. It'll be a good thing, because then you let people want you to come back. Have come back, and then people will be happy to see you again. But when you're there 365 days a year, the way the WWE is using you, you're overexposed. You're always in the title picture, and we're sick of it. If you would go a year without ever being in the title picture and do some major storylines, like you did with Sasha when you had that back and forth between each other, she would win the belt on Raw, you would win it at the pay-per-view. But a storyline where you'd get a win-loss kind of trading wins and losses with someone else with the title not in the picture would be a great thing, because when we don't see you in the title picture, we start to lawn like, she's doing some really good work. Maybe she should be in the title picture again. And you can build to that. But no, every year you're in the fucking title picture because they want you to get to 16 title wins before your dad passes away. But
yeah.
I see when she says stuff like this, I don't know this is her being actually in character. I think it's kind of a both thing, because I can understand it from a personal level that people who are off take time off and all of a sudden they come back in the title picture, and then she's not, and she's always around. But at the same time, she doesn't realize she's overexposed. And I've seen articles where she says she's not overexposed. Again, I don't know if that's from towing the company line or she truly believes it. You want to weigh in on this?
Sorry. No, actually, no, I don't. I'm good.
You're just like, are you still watching that gameplay?
No, I found Twitter and shit's popping off, and I do not want to talk about it on the show.
Okay. So, okay, next piece on the news we gotta talk about. Evolve Wrestling is going on hiatus.
Yeah.
They are shutting down currently. They have the founder, Gabe, I can't think of his last name, said that they're going on hiatus, but it seems to be a permanent hiatus. And the rumor is that WWE, who's had a partnership with them for a very long time, has bought them and their library. No one, it wasn't clear if the library, if they did buy them and got the library, if it's just Evolve's library or the Wrestling Network library, which would be a lot of wrestling content. Which they could all use because they get all their talent from Evolve anyway. So it'll be interesting to see how this turns out, which just is disappointing because that was a big indie company. You know, they were working with WWE. It was a big company for the indie fans to go and watch.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll find out more about this later on. But yeah. Okay, so our next one I have on here, Adam, we're going to skip over and put that at the end. That's the AJ story.
Okay. All right.
No, not the AJ story. I mean the WWE test one. We'll go to the AJ Styles one. So, Adam, so you know how AJ got drafted to SmackDown recently?
Yes.
Apparently, there's reasons for it beyond that the Pritchard requested him for star power. Apparently, AJ wanted to go back to SmackDown for many reasons.
Oh,
One is he did not like Paul Heyman. They did not agree on a lot of stuff on how things should be run.
Okay.
And he also blamed Paul Heyman for his friends getting released. Drew Gallows and Carl Anderson.
Wow. Okay. Why not actually blame them on the people that actually released them? But, whatever.
Well, he's saying his reasons is that he felt Paul Heyman could have fought for them more, and they could have kept their jobs if he went to bat for them. So he's blaming them. And then there's also another story going around that AJ just didn't like being on Raw overall because a lot of people on that brand made fun of him for his beliefs and conspiracy theories. Orton, in a recent interview, talked about how he would rag on AJ for being a flat earther, which we've seen before. Bryan called him out on SmackDown, Talking Smack, a few years ago for being a flat earther. And according to Orton, when he said this, he says AJ truly does believe Earth is flat. Which, if this is true, I've just lost a lot of respect for AJ because we got a nose pinch. Yes.
I just
because that is just god. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I gotta do a nose pinch.
Yeah, it's it's one of those things. The flat earthers, they've got like-minded people all over the globe. We'll just go ahead and put that one out there.
I know AJ is very devout in his Christian beliefs, which I think I have no problem with. I've never heard a story ever about AJ bashing people, saying bad things about people like some Christians do.
Yep.
Ever. I've never heard a story like that ever. So, but this is kind of like a lot of Christians believe this apparently now because they're idiots. And so it makes me wonder, like, is this just a really big rib? Because he said something offhand, and people took him serious, and now they think he actually is a flat earther. I don't know, but if it turns out he truly is a flat earther believer, I just lost a whole lot of respect for him and just overall. But
yeah,
I'm glad he's back on SmackDown. He's the Intercontinental Champion now, which is really cool. And hopefully he'll be happier. But yeah. All right, Adam. Did you know this? I know you know this, but they've been on Dynamite lately.
Okay.
But it's official now, apparently.
What?
FTR are elite. All Elite Wrestling.
It's official? It's a fact. All right. Yes.
According to Wrestle Talk's website, they're All Elite. They were been working off a handshake deal lately since they debuted because they were working out contracts. and they didn't want to be exclusively signed to AEW because they did want to go work some in New Japan. They wanted to work in England. Like they wanted to be able to work uh, in multiple locations, and so they were working out those contracts. But they were willing to come in and start working on a handshake deal, which Tony Khan accepted, which I've heard them praise him for allowing because they trusted it. He trusted them for not reneging on that handshake deal.
Yep.
And which is really cool. So it's great to see that they're finally apparently all elite and they have signed contracts. So, and then we have two more stories. The one that's sticking with AEW is Aubrey Hepburn is officially running the AEW rulebook, apparently.
Oh.
She has gotten approval from Tony Khan because she brought up that if we were supposed to be like an actual professional league and everything, they all have their rules public, so we should have our rules public.
Damn right.
So she's been working on the rule book. And when I say the rule book, I don't mean like that WWE the official rule book that they just put out a year or two ago that I have a copy of, and we were reading as our intro for a little while. No, she's actually talking with refs, the other refs, and figuring out in this situation what do you do? What do you do? Like they're breaking it down, these rules down, like really rules. Okay, what happens here? What happens here? What if this happens? How do we handle this? Which is kind of like pretty cool. I will tell you this though, when they finally release that rule book, and they violate those rules, I will be the one that calls them out on it.
Yes. Damn right you will be.
Because
we'll be all over that.
Which is a good thing. And I think they the impression is they want that too. They kind of like, we're a professional rule league, we should have this. Jericho liked to point out, like you can have these official rules and still use them just for storytelling at discretion. But the way Jericho was putting it is like you don't have to follow the rules all the time. When I'm gonna be like, no, if it's an official rule, you follow the official rule. I get the idea you can bend the rules. There's a difference. You can't break the rules. And that's what I'm talking. You break the rules, I will call them out on it. If you're bending the rules, I may call them out on it depending on if I think they're really trying to bend that rule to the absolute point, and it seems a little too far-fetched, but oh well.
Yeah.
So Adam, what do you think about the AEW rulebook?
I love it. I love the idea. I am super hyped to actually go through this and be like, okay, so this is why they do this, and then there's this, and half the book is actually just ref discretion. What do you do during a countout? You wait 5 minutes for ref discretion. Then you start counting slowly. You should reach number 20 about 17 and a half minutes after the wrestler has left the ring.
No. I'm expecting a special clause in the tag division element.
Yes.
You must hold the tag rope at all times before tagging in. This and that. And then there's a little subclause on every single rule, except for the Lucha Bros. They can do what they want.
Except for the Lucha Bros and. It's like literally the entire division.
Yep. No, it will be interesting to see that. So the last thing, Adam, we gotta talk about is what's going on in the world with COVID-19. And it has finally happened. WWE developmental talent last week tested positive for COVID-19, and this was just released after Raw this week. And it has caused a major problem for WWE. For one, they had actual fans at Raw's taping. Now, there's rumors that they're saying it was friends and family of talent and employees. Well, there's others one saying they were local hardcore WWE fans from here in Orlando. In there. There's a lot of sayings like that Kevin Dunn said if you wear a mask, you're not a WWE fan, so you couldn't wear a mask. There were other things saying they weren't pressured not to wear masks, but people weren't wearing masks that showed up on camera. And then it broke that this happened. It threw a big plate in their taping schedule because it's supposed to be taping on Tuesday for SmackDown, WWE Main Event, NXT, all these things for the next few weeks. They had to stop that so they could start testing people. And then, only to mention that you had Ric fucking Flair in the building this past Monday.
Yes.
I mean, it just seems so irresponsible. We only have one major top talent saying he's not working the tapings anymore, and that is Kevin Owens after this.
Right.
And there's a lot of people who are considering not doing this because they describe the event of testing on Tuesday as chaotic. There was no show of leadership whatsoever.
It should be basically at the entrance. You get tested, then you can go inside.
You get tested and you have to wait for it to come through back.
Yes.
And they were apparently doing the nasal swab.
Oh.
Apparently.
God. Oh.
You told me what that was off mic, so it's just funny to say. When I say that, I'm just like, oh yeah.
Yeah. That is not just a gentle swab around the inside of your nostril. Oh, no. They get back there. It is far back there. Huh.
But yeah, so they were testing that. And there's a lot of people who just are like in panic. It's just like irresponsibility, especially having fans there, knowing there was apparently someone who tested positive who was there last week in the Performance Center.
Yeah.
And they were actually invited the fans back again. So it's like a lot of people are just saying it's what's going on, and it's just we already started to see COVID-19 spike in areas because of protests, people not wearing masks, or people were wearing masks. Regardless, it's just an issue. And now we're to be honest, WWE and wrestling in general in the States got completely lucky that they didn't have more cases of people getting COVID-19.
Yes.
And dying from it. Because apparently Mexico has had a huge population of pro wrestlers get it and pass away.
Yeah.
So it's just like WWE, are you... they can't. The fans who were there can't sue if they did get COVID-19 because they signed a waiver.
Right.
Of course they would. We can't take liability, but we want fans back. But we're not going to tell them.
Exactly.
Oh, and here's the other thing.
It's their risk.
Here's the other thing.
It's their risk.
Yep. But they then tell fans, whether they're family and friends or actual fans, to say you're not a real fan if you wear a mask.
I'd be wearing a damn mask the entire time. I don't care if it's at 50% capacity or not. I'm wearing, for a little while, I might be, well, actually, knowing me and how sweaty I get inside a mask, I could not sit through a show. I'm sorry, my mask would be coming off. I'm so sorry.
But here's the thing, though. You were also, they said that they were social distancing in the arena and that makes it at least 6 feet apart, which makes it wearing a mask useless, pointless, because you're with. But here's the thing: you literally had the Street Profits come through the audience for their entrance that night.
Yeah.
And you had Dominic, Rey Mysterio's son, run through the fans after an attack on Seth Rollins. Yeah. But here's the tipper. Here's the tipper of it all, Adam.
Oh, there's a tipper? I mean, it's already just ugh. Okay, but what's next?
So we know that there's a member of WWE who got the COVID-19 back in April, and here's the thing: they let people know 4 days in advance before it was released. Talent didn't learn of this until It was announced on Twitter by Sean Sapp.
Whoa.
Yeah, they weren't told in advance. They were told. They found out that way. They weren't even told directly. They found it when they got on the internet.
Not cool.
So WWE clearly doesn't give a fuck about their talent.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Because if they did, they would be testing for it at all times from the beginning. Because they haven't been.
Like,
they've been taking temperatures, and they have to fill out a questionnaire. Yeah, because that's going to be good, because if you're not showing symptoms, you're not going to have a fever.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a fever, but you still not feeling good, but you want to work, you can just answer the questionnaire by saying,
I feel fine.
Nope, I feel fine. And you could be thinking it's not the COVID-19. Yeah, it's just...
It is ridiculous.
A lot of people, there's been reports of talent who say COVID-19 is completely fake, apparently.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
So, yeah, I'd love to see this person's reaction now that someone in the Performance Center actually got it.
God.
So,
all right.
But yeah, it's just dumb.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
all right. Well, let's
stupid.
finish up this show, Adam. Ladies and gentlemen, so let us know down in the comment section what you thought of this show, what you thought of Backlash.
Clickety clack.
We have some.
Leave those
we have
comments.
Some announcements. Adam, get your stupid announcement for your stupid NUA.
Oh yeah, tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, new episode of New England Wrestling Alliance. We filmed this one so long ago. I honestly, right this second, have no idea what's going on in it. Honestly, I really don't remember what's going on in this episode. Yeah.
Well,
sorry.
Well, in that case, let me plug my new show on Zop Gaming, Fantasy Booking. Ladies and gentlemen, that's right. I'm going to be fantasy booking AEW using Total Extreme Wrestling 2016's game. I will be starting with Double or Nothing 2020 and going from there to book straight to Fyter Fest. And we'll continue on after that, but that's what we're going to be aiming towards next. And if you're wondering why I'm doing 2016 and not the brand new 2020 Total Extreme Wrestling, I'm broke. I don't have the money to buy it. I eventually will get that game on there, but for now, we're going to go with the game I own. But I will be booking that. You can expect to see the first episode, Double or Nothing, going live. Probably it's either up already or will be going up after this podcast because it's a Saturday.
I don't know. I'm not in control of uploading that.
I know. I'll be doing that. I haven't decided when I'm going to upload it, but I'm going to be trying to follow AEW's schedule, so I'll post Dynamite episodes on Wednesdays and pay-per-views on Saturdays. That's when they go live. I do know Fyter Fest is a special teen Dynamite this year. I'm treating it like an actual pay-per-view. So, but you can look forward to that. If it's go and see if you can find it on Zop Gaming. We are going through the exact card of Double or Nothing, though I did make some changes.
Okay.
And some new talent that I wanted to bring in for my Dynamite.
Oh, all right. Good. All right, so I figured out what episode. It is 2 weeks until the Alpaca Bowl, the first ever 2-night wrestling event brought to you by New England Wrestling Alliance. We've got...
Adam, you
yes?
gotta stop saying that. You're not the first.
Yeah, we are. All right, we got some great action for you. Uncle Freddy is cutting a... Actually, the llama... Why do I saying Uncle Freddy? I don't even know... Oh, that's because I was talking to him earlier tonight. Great guy. Llama Championship Wrestling here. We've got some singles action. Oma versus the Daredevil. Some tag team action. Oh, we've got the #1 contender to the New England Wrestling Alliance Tag Team Championship happening tomorrow. Sunday. Tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Woo World Order is taking on Brooklyn Bratva. It's going to be a great match for you. It's going to be greater than the match that they previously had, which ended super quick. And Mr. Green is again defending his the Chowda Championship in the main event. You guys check it out Sunday.
So he successfully defended it this past week.
Yeah. Honestly, I keep forgetting this stuff.
This is what happens when you bulk record stuff.
Yeah, it does. Does kind of suck. I mean, it felt wonderful to get the bulk recording out of the way, so all I have to do is do editing. But at the same time, when I'm trying to promote it, ooh.
Oh, trust me, I know. I mean, I just bulk recorded all my fantasy booking through Fighter Fest, and I was glad when it was done. But when I go to hype it, I have to go look back at my cards.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do like, oh, what week is this? Crap, which episode is up?
Yeah. So, but there you go. Check that out. Since we're down here, let's go ahead and finish up this show. Since you made it to the end of this podcast, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. You're clearly liking it. Adam.
Doop.
Sound effect.
Sorry.
There you go. Got distracted.
Yeah, I did.
Since it's right there, hit that subscribe button.
Ding!
Ring that bell.
Ding! Ding!
And turn on all notifications so you know when all As the Buckle Turn and Zop Gaming content go live. And you know what?
Yeah.
Adam, get bent and send me my fucking championship this time.
No, you're never. I'm gonna keep. You know what? I'm gonna pull a rock. I'm gonna throw it in the river. I'll lose it in the river.